Good evening and welcome to this final regular season home game for your Chanhassen Storm. The Storm face off against the Waconia Wildcats. Storm coming into the game 3-0. Waconia 2-2. Waconia coming off a loss at Orono. And Chan coming off a big win against Chaska last Friday. The last matchup between these two was last September the 27th at Waconia, and the Storm took a 6-point win back to home. Coming into the game, our quarterback, Riley Funk, is 15 for 36 with 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Rushing, your leaders are Charlie Coonan, 2 TDs, 126 yards. Pinkerton, 145 yards, 0 TDs, as he was hurt in that BSM game a few weeks ago. Storm got to stop this run game against Waconia. Let's go.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it. Don't really want it. Y'all don't really want it with me. I know you shook, man. You ain't built for a skirt as in me. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, when I come for ya. It's gonna sound like, yeah, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the, y'all don't really want it now.
And really excited to see him. Just a sophomore, but based on the statistics so far, really an electric player. There you see number 2 waiting for the kickoff.
5 returns, averaging 18.4 yards per kickoff return this season. Here we go. Mao to march it off, and we've talked about this each week. He's got a deliberate pattern for these kickoffs. So Waconia's been out there, they've been waiting, and we are underway from Chanhassen High School. It is taken at the 8-yard line, brought across the 10 to the 15. Defense, nope, gave it away. McAnally has it to the right side, and he takes it up to the 25. Little trickery there between the two. And McAnally able to get the handoff and break it out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Waconia Wildcats. We've talked a lot about McAnally, and we will throughout the course of the night. He's going to get the ball a whole bunch this evening. But the one distributing the ball is quarterback Carson Dobmeyer. Dobmeyer, 29 completions on 63 attempts. That's 46%. 319 yards, 4 TDs, 3 picks. And for the Wildcat QB. 1 receiver each side, 2 men in the backfield with the quarterback from the right hash. Hands off, McAnally right side, gets a good break out towards the sideline and pulls it all the way up close to the 35-yard line.
Just a nice seam there as we've been waiting to see what McAnally can do. And a really nice seam running in between the tackle and the guard. And you can see here on the replay, just finds a seam and Mao brings him down, but not after a gain of 8 yards. He averages 7.7 yards per carry, so right on par to start this game.
1 receiver each side, same formation. Snap and then a toss back to McAnally right side. He's got the 35, pushes forward towards the 40. First down for sure. And they're going to mark him down at the 39-yard line. A 4-yard pickup and a first down. This guy's going to be a challenge for the Chanhassen defense.
Well, and you can see there the blocking out front. That was Sam McAnally on the block to allow Max to get the first down. This is a team that uses their receivers more for blocking purposes than they do for passing. They average, as you mentioned, Carson Dobmeyer averaging just 79 passing yards per game. So clearly a running offense here for Waconia.
They run it 2/3 of their plays so far this season. Good hole at the line, and he breaks it across midfield all the way up to the 46-yard line.
And we take a look here. This is essentially the same play that they ran on the big gainer on the first play, and you can see again Sam McAnally leading out front is the lead blocker there and just grading the road for Max as he picks up another big gain and another first down.
Sam, the senior, has gotten a couple of carries this season, but like you said, he's been the lead man in front of the younger McAnally this season. And I think that's a really fun dynamic. Typically, the senior's the one carrying the ball, but I love the big brotherly aspect of having the older McAnally do the blocking. Here, pass left side, caught near the 39, and the receiver ripped down for one of those rare passes, and it's a completed one. Nice catch that time by Sam Coppy.
Good pitch and catch here as we watch again. Just a quick throw over, and when you run the ball as effectively as Waconia does, you can pick and choose where to use that passing offense because you're probably going to catch that defense off guard a little bit whenever it occurs. So you don't want to overdo it if that's not your strength, but you can pick and choose and pick up some yardage here and there, and that's what Waconia looks to do.
Two receivers on the short side to the left. Man comes in motion. Handed off on the jet sweep, running right side, and bottled up that time was the ball carrier, Owen Amrine. Kenyatta Brannon came up with the big stop that time as there was minimal yardage to be had. In fact, a loss of yardage on that play.
Yeah, that's good play there. There just wasn't any room. That time the blocking didn't formulate, and they kind of hung the running back out to dry, and then Brannon was able to take him down for the loss. Sets up 3rd down and 5.
Kind of in that area of the field where they might go for it on 4th down, but would love to pick it up here if you're the Waconia Wildcats. Back to that similar formation we've seen from them. Handoff, McAnally pushes, and he is bottled up right at the 40-yard line. No gain on that play, and we'll get decision here on 4th down and 5.
The first couple of runs that Waconia has done and have worked effectively have been to the right side. That was a run to the left, and there wasn't nearly as much room on that left side. As we take a look again, it's right there, and that's number 5. Carson Dobmeyer, as you mentioned, making the stop. So they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
3 receivers bunched to the right side. Empty backfield except for the QB in the shotgun. He throws right side. Caught by McAnally. McAnally put down near the 38-yard line. So a 2-yard reception and nothing more.
They might have gotten it, but take a look here. The throw kind of goes backwards a little bit more than maybe he would have liked to. And so it kind of allowed the defense to catch up. Max McAnally had to wait for that ball a little bit. Had it been quicker and maybe up the field just a little bit, he might have been able to pick up the first down. Instead, it'll be first down for Chanhassen as we see Riley Funk and company out on the offensive side of the football for the first time tonight. And you see Max McAnally, he stays in the game. He is one of their defensive backs / linebacker when he is not running the football. So Waconia, who has a little bit of a shorter roster, they play several players on both sides of the football.
2 receivers left side, 1 to the right. Man comes in motion, fake the handoff, looking over the middle of the field. Now a deep toss to the middle of the field. Ock is open, can't get it. Oh, he laid it out all the way, going tabletop to try and catch this ball, and just a bit overthrown because he puts his hands on it but can't secure it on the dive. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10, but they go right after the guy we highlighted at the beginning of the game. Yeah, so close. Great shot from the end zone there.
Well, and you can see how much room Ock had. If that ball isn't quite underthrown, he probably catches it in stride, and it's a touchdown.
Agreed. Quick pass to the right side, this time caught by Kirchhoff, and he will take it up near the 46-yard line. Nice job by Kirchhoff, and then Sean Johnson right on top of him to make the tackle. So a 7-yard reception on that play.
And Waconia a little more of a work it down the field. So 3rd down and short. They've got a lot of options in their playbook for this.
Look to run it to the right. Nothing there. Just getting across the 45-yard line. So that puts them back at the line of scrimmage. And sets up 4th down.
Griffin Schneider, we have not, as I recall, remember seeing him carry the ball in any of the 3 games that we have been here. As Mao comes in to punt this football away. Omrine deep to receive for Waconia.
Waiting at his own 15. Good snap to Mao, and he'll get the kick away.
Good punt.
Running up on it and kind of just scooping it before it hits the ground at the 23-yard line was Omrine. But a second opportunity, and maybe not a surprise that the Wildcats did a really good job shutting down the run. We've talked about how good McAnally is, and he's a big reason why they're averaging 200 yards per game, but the defense is only allowing 85 rushing yards per game this season for the Waconia Wildcats, and they stuffed the run to make it a quick turnover on downs, or a punting situation, I should say.
As you see Corey Shea there, the head coach for Waconia. That was a dangerous catch, by the way. Really used those fingertips. We live in a world where everybody wears those sticky gloves now, so it's a little easier to catch, though.
Here toss to the right side, McAnally. He's loving that right side. Gets good room and pushes up towards the 29-yard line. 6-yard pickup.
Yeah, just like you mentioned, again to the right side. As we take a look at those clear-out blocks there. As you've got, look like Mac Sheebley, the tight end, with a big block there, clearing the way. Getting Mao off the page a little bit, and so a 5-yard gain. They really are working that right side.
One receiver each side now from the right hash on 2nd and 5. Handoff, Dobmeyer to McAnally, looking to run to the right, and he is swallowed up. Gets taken down near the 26-yard line by Ryan Mashka, the outside linebacker, bursting into the backfield to make that stop.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Mashka. You can see again going to the right side, but this time maybe going to the well a little bit too much, and so a loss on that play, a couple-yard loss.
The ball now placed at the 26-yard line, so 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats, and maybe we'll be looking at a defensive battle, which is not something we've seen much in Chanhassen Storm games this season. Man comes in motion, looking to pass. Left side, Dobmeyer floats it too far for McAnally, who looked like he was pretty well covered that time by Chanhassen. Maybe not on the defense of the pass, but Gabe Porthan was ready to make a tackle if McAnally was able to reel that in.
Yeah, that was one where, that was really overthrown and well covered. You see 2 different Storm players in hot pursuit if he does catch that. So a punting situation here for Waconia for the first time.
So
Anders Rodning, the punter, another sophomore.
Rodning, decent kick. A fair catch called for at the 45 by Chanhassen's Kirkhoff. So good field position for the Storm on their second attempt down the field. But this game has been all about the D to start. And hats off to both sides for shutting down the opponents early on during this feeling out period. We've seen some nice plays and we've seen some almost plays. They passed to Ock at the top of that list. Will we see more big attempts from this Chanhassen offense? They set up with 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. From the left hash, man comes in motion. It's Kirkhoff. He takes the handoff, bobbles it, trying to get to the outside, and he does not have much for blocking. Is run out of bounds near the 42. It's a loss of 3.
That's a nice job by Sean Johnson, among others, for Waconia. You use that sideline to your advantage. Eventually, you start running out of room, and there's just nowhere to go. So keep stretching it out. Johnson keeps trailing him, and eventually he just has to run out of room because there's nowhere left to go.
Credit to Kirkhoff for securing that football, though. It was a shaky handoff, and he was bobbling it a bit. But 1, he kept his speed, and 2, he secured the ball. Two receivers left, one to the right on 2nd and 13. Quick pass to the left side, caught by Kirchhoff. Kirchhoff trying to get to the edge, and there's just not a lot of room. Speed to the sidelines for this Waconia defense that pushes him out near the 49-yard line.
Yeah, it was a nice play, of course, passing to the long side, so there's a lot of room over there. But again, Carson Dobmeyer again just chasing him to the sideline, using the sideline as the advantage point, and it sets up third and kind of a medium here for the first down.
7-yard pickup on the reception. 5:18 remaining here in the first. No score. Two receivers right, one to the left. Funk looking to pass left side. The lefty gets it away. It is caught. Caught on the other side of midfield. Pulled in at the 42-yard line. So a 9-yard reception under heavy duress. Take a look. Coonan able to secure that even with the defender, Carson Dobmeyer, the quarterback, playing cornerback.
I thought Dobmeyer may have intercepted the pass, but it slipped through his hands and right into the hands of
He did
Coonan.
have the inside position. You're
Yep.
absolutely right. Could not secure the football. Coonan does. As he's been split out at wide receiver quite a bit to start this game. A lot of passing from Chanhassen. Here a handoff and a run up the middle, and tumbling for a decent gain up to the 36-yard line is Pinkerton. Took a while to see Tucker Pinkerton get a handoff last week when we thought he was going to be the bell cow. Here this week, he does get an early carry in what appears to be a heavy passing operation for the offense of the Storm.
Yeah, he wasn't the bell cow. All we got were cowbells here. That's what the parents all ring, but a good run there for Pinkerton on first down. Kept those feet moving and got an extra couple of yards, even though he was falling down.
On 2nd and 4, play action. Pressure coming on the QB from behind. He passes it away. This is incomplete, out of the reach of his intended target, Kenyetta Brannon.
Yeah, a little bit on the run here. And, of course, he's left-handed, so he was set up well, but just airmailed it a little bit. You'd rather miss long than short, obviously.
That's two passes that it seems like the receiver was open. They had beaten their defender, and yet the pass sailing on them. So frustration perhaps for Chanhassen that they haven't been able to connect on those. Now it's about converting on 2nd and 4.
And they've probably
Third and 4.
Probably got 2 downs to do this based on the field position.
3rd and 4. Two receivers right, one to the left. Blitz shown. Rolling to his right. Setting up. Funk passes towards the right sideline. It is intercepted. Officials haven't signaled whether he was inbounds with his feet, but it looks like this is Waconia ball.
It is Dustin Parker who made the catch, whether he was inbounds or out of bounds. They're
No
gonna say,
catch.
let's take a look here. I thought he had it. Oh, that's close.
I mean, he clearly secures the ball.
Let's
Does
see.
he do it with a foot inbounds?
Let's see what hits first.
His
The
elbow does, but it's inbounds.
That is close. Hard. Let's see, right? No, that's inbounds. That should have been an interception, so a break there for Chanhassen. A game of inches.
It is a turnover in a sense, though, because a punt is coming, and field position probably won't be too different. However, disappointment for that DB to not get the pick on the stat line. Under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter, no score. Punt is high, bounces at the 9. Chanhassen playing with fire, but they keep it at the 1.
That almost bounced one too many times there, but Chanhassen able to down that football right at the 1-yard line.
All right, so now the lack of interception does seem to be quite a bit different since the field position has put this offense of the Waconia Wildcats in a very tough position, backed up against their own goal line.
Yeah, and so now we're going to see probably the running game of Waconia, see how effective. I would guess it's going to be to the right.
That's what they want you to think. Here, run right up the middle, and good push of the pile to move it all the way out to the 7-yard line. Great job that time, as Dobmeyer, the quarterback, keeping it.
He's not unaccustomed to carrying the football. 27 carries on the season. About 3.5 yards a carry, so not
a
a
little
lot.
better than that with 6 there. So 2nd and 4 and a little breathing room for Waconia. But we talked about the field position battle a lot last week, and right now it's in favor of Chanhassen. It's up to Waconia to see if they can flip this field with a good drive. One receiver each side. Dobmeyer fakes the handoff, keeping again, and he is stuffed up after minimal gain. He takes it out to the 8-yard line, so 3rd and 3 upcoming after the 1-yard gain.
Yeah, he evaded one tackler, and we watch here. He just follows his blockers, and eventually Mao gets to him and pushes him back. So a gain of a yard, but that'll leave 3rd and about 3 to go for the first down.
And Mao had help. His comrades were right there. One receiver to the left, 3 bunch to the right. No running backs in the backfield. Out of the gun from the right hash. Dobmeyer, quick snap throw to the right side, incomplete through the hands of his intended target. He wanted McAnally.
Well, the last time we saw him try that throw kind of over to the right, he kind of lollipopped it and it was too slow. That one was quite the opposite. He threw an aspirin tablet over there and McAnally just couldn't catch it.
So with that, you're talking about a team that is unable to flip the field, barely get out from the goal line, and is setting up to punt this ball away to a return man who's waiting in enemy territory at the 40-yard line.
A lot of pressure on this punter here.
Rodning gets plenty of space, and he gets it away. Beautiful spiral, nice punt, and a fair catch is called for, but it's all the way up at the 36-yard line where it is secured, so a very short field for Chanhassen, who has failed to find the end zone on their first couple drives, but this is their best opportunity thus far. Here comes the offense. They're starting with Coonan to the right and Empty on the left. Running backs in the eye, handoff, Pinkerton, and Pinkerton plows forward for 3 yards. So I guess I'm really surprised after the week that Coonan and Kirchhoff had running the ball last week, some with some trickery, some just straight out of the backfield. It's been about Pinkerton this week to start on the running game.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought with the the emergence of Josh Ock and what the sophomore did, they were feeling more comfortable letting those other 2 guys run the ball. We'll see what we get here as Funk sets up on 2nd and 6. Mao in the backfield, sitting up right side as a blocker, and a handoff. And pulled down quickly is the man with the ball, and Brady Grandstaff. We remember Grandstaff from week 1 when he got, I believe it was his first handoff, and he scooted up the field for a couple dozen yards.
Yep.
Here, not much for him. So he gets taken down in the backfield. So no gain on the play.
And so 3rd down and 6. It hasn't been easy so far for Chanhassen here as we reach the final minute of the first quarter.
They're in 4-down territory. Here are 2 receivers to the right. Left side empty except for Mao off the end of the line. He's just working as a blocker. Starting to roll, now getting a pass over the middle. Incomplete. Funk throwing low to the feet of his intended receiver, Coonan.
Yeah, that's one of those where you just keep looking and looking and looking, but everybody's moving. So that one he threw behind the receiver, kind of threw to where he was as opposed to where he was going to be.
So here we go. We've got a less than a minute on the clock here in the first quarter. No score, and on 4th down, Chanhassen going for it, trying to avoid the 4-and-out.
Last time, as it looks like there's a timeout here by Chanhassen. Last time they were right around this same area, and they decided to punt it. So this time maybe just a few yards inside the 35 is maybe a few yards outside before. But it looks like they're going to try and go for it here. They have to reach the 26, 25 and a half yard line for the first down.
So Waconia coming off a 26-6 loss against Orono. Before that, they beat Bloomington Jefferson 19-11 and St. Louis Park 49-14. It's a big win over a St. Louis Park team that Chanhassen has on the horizon after this week. An 0-4 Oriole squad. We know the big win came last week for Chanhassen. It's big because it was the most recent, and it's big because it was the rival. 25-20, they beat Chaska behind those 2 receiving touchdowns from Josh Alec.
Yeah, it's obviously a different type of a season than we've had, and it's obviously in all likelihood not going to end with state championships for any of these teams. But Chanhassen, if they could get by Waconia tonight, has a real shot of finishing the regular season undefeated, and then we'll see how playoffs kind of formulate in the next few weeks.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right on 4th down. Chanhassen has to get 6. Passing deep for the end zone. They've got a man. It is incomplete. The defender out there was Jackson Lang. There were 2 defenders, but Lang came over last minute to make the play and shut down Coonan. And he just gets himself between the ball and the receiver.
Well, in Waconia, they only rushed 3, so they put 8 players back into coverage. So they wanted to make it difficult for Funk to find somebody to hit. And so you said they needed 6, and you meant 6 yards, but Chanhassen went for 6 points, and it didn't come up that way.
So we've still got a scoreless game. Waconia now getting a chance at it. Interesting to watch this thing develop here. Points seem like they're going to be at a premium as we go on. 1 receiver each side on 1st down. The drive begins. Here, handoff straight up the middle, and nowhere to go. Pushed back is Max McAnally, and looks like they're going to give him the line of scrimmage, so 2nd down and 10.
Chris Ewing, Ryan Mashka, among the different Chanhassen players in on the tackle. Just not a lot of room there, and again, we saw them go to the left and the middle. There hasn't been as much there so far as those runs to the right side.
So they bunch 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They've tried a couple of passing plays in this formation. They haven't gone the way they would like. Now seeing the clock is going to run down to the end of the quarter. Dobmeyer is content with that. So we'll flip ends of the field as the first quarter comes to a close. Waconia and Chanhassen still scoreless here on MC22. We'll be back in a moment. Second here on MC22, John Eden, Nick Walsh, and our entire crew glad to be with you this evening on a beautiful night for football here in November. I gotta say, I was pretty nervous, Nick, when we got that snow a few weeks ago, thinking these games at the end of the season are going to be rough, but a beautiful early November night in Minnesota for football. And I think tomorrow, for those playing under the Friday night lights, it's going to be even warmer. Someone looking to get hot here, because so far the offense has produced very little for these 2 teams. On 2nd down and 10, Dobmeyer keeps himself, goes up the middle, and falls over the 35. He'll pick up 4 yards on the play.
Feels like both of these teams tonight have been finding themselves in a bevy of 3rd down and 6 situations. It seems like that's pretty much what we've had, and this one may be even a little longer. We might have close to 3rd and 7. We'll go with 3rd and 6, but you know, it's tough sledding for both of these teams so far offensively. Both of the defenses playing very well.
2 receivers to the right. That's Johnson and Amrine. 1 out to the left. From the left hash, Dobmeyer, quick pass to the right side. Caught, and then Eli Mao in the backfield rips down the receiver, McAnally. That's a loss of yardage on a reception.
Yeah, they are just keying on McAnally there with Mao. His one goal is to make sure that he doesn't get any further than that line of scrimmage, and Mao did his job. It'll be 4th down.
And you want to know why they're keying on McAnally? You gave us some stats in the pregame, but let's go week by week. Against Robbinsdale Cooper, McAnally, 15 carries, 134 yards, 2 TDs. Against St. Louis Park, 15 carries, 185 yards, 3 TDs. against Bloomington Jefferson. 26 carries, 189 yards, and a TD. Last week, a slow week. 16 carries, 53 yards, still got in the end zone. But that was the best effort anyone on offense really had on a tough week for the team.
And the one thing that I noticed there, John, as you're reading that, is with the exception of that one game where he had 26 carries, 15 carries, 15, 16 touches of the football. So that's the one thing, if you get into a slugfest, how much is he going to have in the tank come the fourth quarter if you use him a lot? That's the one thing you kind of got to work with, especially if you're playing against maybe a bigger, more physical team like Chanhassen. The possibility for a sophomore in McAnally to wear down is somewhat high based on the number of touches he's had.
Two receivers right. Funk hands it off, and a run towards the left side. Taken down is Pinkerton as he gets towards the 45-yard line. And Max McAnally there for the tackle.
Well, one thing we haven't talked too much about, I mean, we mentioned the fact that he is their leading running back, obviously, but he's also tied for their lead in tackles. He's got 25 tackles on the season coming in. That's tied with Sam McAnally and also Carson Dobmeyer, the quarterback, also with 25 tackles. So really balanced and a lot of two-way players doing it on both sides.
2nd down and 8. Pinkerton running again. Pinkerton finds space, and he bursts out of the middle of the pack. He heads down the field and blows by the DBs into the end zone. Touchdown from 55 yards out. Tucker Pinkerton.
And you saw the speed of Tucker Pinkerton. Once he got into that second level, he is gone. Watch this. He waits for his block, and then bam! He is off to the races, and there is just no chance for Jackson Lang to catch him. As Pinkerton, he is small but mighty. And just weaving us through, then accelerates into the second level, and no chance to catch him from 55 out.
So Mao setting up for the kick after. Riley Funk to hold. Good snap and hold. Mao puts this up, and he splits the uprights. Now, Mao getting the duties as the kicker, where it was Dimitri McDougall we've seen in previous weeks doing the point afters and the proposed field goal opportunities, and Mao was just doing the kickoffs. But here Mao does get the extra point, and with that it is a 7-0 lead for Chanhassen. And boy, that just seems like it came out of nowhere. Nobody was able to get any yardage anywhere on the field, and then Pinkerton bursts right past everybody and finds his way to the end zone with a straight-ahead run.
Yeah, and checking out the cameras there. That's Pinkerton from 55 out, giving Chanhassen the lead. That is probably, though, the third or fourth time that Chanhassen has had a real opportunity for a big play. It's just this is the first one they've taken advantage of. Most of them have been in the air, and Funk has just been a little bit off, overthrowing so far, maybe actually getting maybe too excited about the fact that the receivers have been open to an extent where a simple throw would connect. This could be a game that probably Chanhassen, I would say at least could be 14-0. I don't know about the pass that he wasn't able to connect with.
Was that Kenyatta? Brannon?
But
yeah.
The first throw to Auk certainly could have been a touchdown.
So after splitting the uprights, Mao set for the kickoff after 7-0. Chanhassen on top. We thought points would be tough to come by, but the Storm have found some. Can their defense continue on the way that it had been? Because it just takes one big play, as we just saw, to put points on the board. Here, fake the handoff, just going straight up the middle on the kickoff return. Great return, taken up close to the 45-yard line before a big hit, but nicely done by Amrai.
Yeah, that was a nice run, and boy, the seas kind of parted there, and he just had all sorts of room to run.
They had a little fake, like he was going to hand it off, but I don't think that mattered.
No, there just wasn't. That was just really well set up by Waconia until he got near midfield when he was met by that last line of defense. So good field position. Obviously, You can't get much worse than the last time Waconia had the football. They started on their own 1-yard line, so much better field position this time around.
This is the best they've had tonight, if I remember correctly. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Amran goes in motion out towards the left side. Looking to pass this Dobmeyer. Pump fake. That was a heavy pump fake. Now a flag, now a second flag. He throws it deep to the right side, incomplete, as that was out of bounds in the end.
And this is going to be holding in all likelihood against Waconia based on where it's thrown. So these are those long developing plays where you just, especially after a pump fake like that, people start switching in different directions, and that tends to cause a holding penalty.
So they get the great field position, but a rough start with that penalty on first down. Second down and 20 upcoming. Sorry, 23, second and 23, my apologies, from the spot. On the right hash, Dobmeyer hearing it from the Chanhassen fans. Pass to the right side, a little behind the receiver, but going back to get it. Nice grab that time by Sam Coppy. And Coppy picks up decent yardage, maybe about 11.
Just a quick pass and a nice turn there, cutting to the outside where the defense was not, instead of to the inside where he would have been tackled immediately.
And just kept in bounds, so the clock moves, and we've had a fairly speedy first quarter here, or rather first half. Down to 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter. 1 receiver each side. Handed off and looking to burst out to the right side, and there's just too much speed on the defense, and pushed out of bounds is McAnally after a minimal gain.
Yeah, this time Chanhassen has kind of figured out this right-hand side, and so Jack Hombach able to make the stop for Chanhassen.
It looked like Ewing getting into the backfield right away to start to string him out, and then the cavalry came behind.
And this is where it gets tricky here for Waconia when you've got these third and long situations. They're not a passing game team by trade, but when they may have to do that, this is sometimes when bad things tend to happen. So we'll see what they decide to do.
Eric Hogland running into the field late there. Senior wide receiver. Receiver out to the left. Hogland will bunch it in. 3 receivers on that left side, 1 to the right. Dobmeyer looking left, now comes back over the middle, throws behind his intended target, incomplete, is looking for Max Sheedley.
And probably wouldn't have had a first down regardless, so it'll be 4th down. He would have put them into maybe a decision area where it would have been maybe 4th and 1, but he was falling down as he was trying to make that catch. As you can see here, if he had made that catch, he would have been about a yard short maybe of the first down.
Yep.
So instead, the punt team comes out, and Chanhassen may have some decent field position.
Looks like Kirchhoff waiting at the 25. Rodning's punt. Gonna push, it's Coonan back there. Push Coonan back a little bit. He'll let it bounce, and it does take a sizable bounce for Waconia as the ball marked down at the 17-yard line.
So this becomes a critical juncture here for Waconia as Chanhassen up by 7, and the Wildcats having a hard time moving the football here so far, with the exception of a couple runs early, but those have kind of dried up. Chanhassen has maybe made some adjustments defensively to key in on the young running back, Max McAnally, and so now Chanhassen, if they were able to maybe have a long drive or a big play that would score, that would set them up pretty well.
Pinkerton takes the handoff, nearly got out of an ankle tackle. He pushes up across the 20-yard line, about a 4 or 5-yard pickup.
And that would be textbook Chanhassen there. They would take a long drive that resulted in some points here. Maybe milk out a big part of this second quarter. But that's their game. They can grind it out on the ground when they need to.
This is a Waconia team that has never allowed more than 20 points per game. And so they are or excuse me, never allowed more than 26 points per game this season. So they've never really gotten into any kind of blowout situation, and with the way they run the ball, they cut down the game because the clock just keeps running, so that's part of it. But also, even with the big touchdown given up to Pinkerton, this has been a fairly stout defense through one half against the Chanhassen team that knows how to score the football.
As we see Pinkerton kind of weaving through, I have to, without knowing, I have to believe that maybe Pinkerton might have been suffering from some sort of minor injury last week when we were out here. It seemed to set up for him really well, and he just didn't get the carries last week, but so far today, he's been kind of the main weapon.
On 3rd and 1, it looks like they might have pushed that pile out across the 32-yard line. Check that, the 27-yard line.
That was Radke into the pile. And he gets the first down.
Nicely done by the big man Radke. Doesn't get a lot of carries, but he converts in that situation. And with that, Chanhassen keeps this drive alive, and drives have been hard for these teams to sustain so far tonight. The number of 3rd down conversions is very low, but what you talked about earlier, Nick, is unlike that one, which was 3rd and 1, most of these are 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 6.
Yep.
2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. That's Ock by himself on the right side. Funk sees Mao switch to the left side as protection blocker. Nope, Mao's going to go out for the catch. He makes it and takes it across the 25 to the 30, gets to the edge, 35-40, pushed out of bounds to the 45-yard line. And Mao, nicely done that time. Officially marked out at the 47. It's a 20-yard pickup. Secures the ball, gets some good blocking, and really just works towards the edge. And it's coming back.
I've got holding. And so a good play, almost. If he could get by that one last blocker, he would have had maybe a touchdown, but that would have only been more disappointing maybe after the holding call.
So the penalty came just 2 yards from the first down marker, so this is not going to be as bad as it could have been. It wasn't in the backfield. So
one of those crazy plays where it's a downfield block and they only lose 2 yards on it because it's a spot foul.
So the ball placed on first down at the 24-yard line. Handoff, this is Kirchhoff looking to run right side, and not much there for him. Looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage.
And the clock continues to run.
Sorry, the original line of scrimmage. It looks like he got back to you. So maybe 3 yards on that pickup. It's 2nd down and 10.
Time you pick up a holding penalty and still are back to the original line of scrimmage going into 2nd down, even though it was just a couple of yards. It's a nice place to be. It's almost like an incomplete pass, if you think of it that way.
Yep, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Here, handoff, Pinkerton, a little bit of a delay. He's stumbling and falls forward ahead to the 31-yard line. He had the hole, but he didn't have his feet under him once he broke into it.
So we take a look at the replay here, just a little counter play.
It was McAnally who really gets the tackle there. I know coming over late was Hogland, but that one in the hole was created by McAnally, Max McAnally. 3rd and 6. Chanhassen looking to get someone out. They're going to send Mao out of the huddle. 4:35 remaining.
There's going to be a problem when he does that because that's too many men in the huddle, and there was a pretty obvious situation there when you've got...
You might as well just go for it at that point and pretend that you don't have that many and put 12 at the line.
Well,
it's a penalty either way, right? Maybe you can get away with it. Nope.
Well, they're going to wave it off. They must have had 11, and he ran off to make it 10, so...
Nice stash from our official. It's weird. I'm not used to seeing people's facial hair.
Right?
It's a whole new world. 4.5 to go here in the first half. 7-0. Chanhassen on top. 2 receivers left. Is Ock going to join him? No, he's going to run all the way over to the right side. There's a lot of confusion for Ock on what he's supposed to be doing on this play. He gets to the line. Funk looking over the middle, it looks like. He is going deep towards the middle, and open is Kirchhoff. He makes the catch at the 35, and he's open the rest of the way. Touchdown, Chanhassen. 69-yard score.
And that was the pass that we didn't see from Funk the first couple of times downfield. The third time's the charm is Kirchhoff. Watch this. He waits. And just a nice, easy throw. He sees that he's got him wide open and puts it right on the numbers in stride for the touchdown.
3:59 remaining here in the second quarter, and the big score over the top. And it was funny because there were no receivers in the middle of the field, and you could see the eyes of the quarterback, Funk, and I thought, he's looking over the middle. Here, a pass towards the left side is knocked down, so the two-point conversion not there for Chanhassen, 13-0. The lead. But again, to go back to that play, he was just waiting for someone to get to that point in the field because his receivers are all on the edge. Then Kirchhoff swoops in inside the hash marks, and there's the ball hitting him right as he gets there. Really strong start for Chanhassen as we get another look. Looking over the middle, then a bit of a glance to the left to make sure his man's cutting in, and there he is from the left sideline into the middle. Kirchhoff then crosses over and finishes on the right sideline.
Well, and in that play, there was some pressure coming from the left side of the defensive line, and a nice job by the offensive line to hold back the pressure and give Funk enough time to throw that pass.
Amron and McAnally back to receive. Another kickoff from Chanhassen. Remember, Chanhassen had the kickoff to start this half, so they'll get the ball to start the second half, and right now they're up 13-0 with minimal time left here in the first. Now surveys, and team breaks the huddle for the kickoff. Last time it was a really nice return for the Wildcats with them just shy of midfield. Mao with a short kick this time. That ball bounces down and heads towards the sideline, and flag will fly on that play. So good field position coming up again for the Wildcats.
One going out of bounds at about the 25. They'll get it at the 35, so about a 10-yard gain from where it would have gone out of bounds if there was no penalty.
If it doesn't bounce that sharply out of bounds, I mean, there's a chance that Chanhassen can get to that ball, and I don't know if that was the intention. Try and get kind of a funky bounce with it. See what happens. We mentioned that next week Chanhassen heads to St. Louis Park for their regular season finale. Waconia will be at home against a 3-1 Holy Angels squad. The drive begins for Waconia, down 13-0. Toss to the left side. Some room for McAnally as he pushes towards the sideline and will go out of bounds after crossing over the 40. They mark him out at the 44-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup on the first down run. Waconia out of the huddle. One receiver each side. Handoff and a run to the left. Hard push, and the ball moved up towards midfield to the 49-yard line.
Well, and for Waconia, this is a drive when if you have a trick play or something that's kind of tricky or aggressive, you might want to try it because, remember, Chanhassen will get the ball to start the second half. So you're already down 13. This might be your last kind of advantageous time to do that before Chanhassen, if they get the ball and score again, it's 20-0. So you need to take advantage of these opportunities when you have them.
Here, pass to the right side. That is incomplete. Having some trouble getting open for that ball was Trevor Stockman.
Well, And Stockman, watch this. He almost plays defensive back here. He knocks the ball away at the end, or tries. If nothing else, he might be trying for the ball, but he's also, at the end of this play, the defensive back is actually in better position to make the catch. That's Velasquez. So it was actually kind of a nice play by Stockman to try and play defensive back there on that throw.
3:20 remaining in this second quarter. Two receivers right, one to the left. Maxwell McAnally gets the pass on the right side. He makes it a clean reception and carries strong from there all the way up to the opposing 42-yard line. They just need one more for a first down.
Kurt Schaefer on the tackle. That was a big hole.
Well, how many times have they run that play and it hasn't worked? I think this is the first time that they've had success with it.
Well, there's an old saying about things that don't succeed and trying them again.
One receiver each side from the gun. Handoff, McNally looking to run right side, gets past one tackler, dives forward, and I think he's got a first down with that leap.
I think he's right at the sticks with the football, so this should be a first down, I think.
Look at him get past Mao, though. That's not easy to do, and then he just goes airborne, knowing it's the only way he's going to find first down yardage.
And it is enough for a first down. Clock running. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts.
With Chanhassen did take one.
Check that. Chanhassen took a timeout earlier, late in the first quarter.
Two receivers to the left from the right hash. And a run by Dobmeyer. Looks fairly designed, but he got popped near the end, and we'll get a flag on the play as he moved it all the way up to the 38-yard line. Would have been a 3-yard pickup.
It looked like Dobmeyer bobbled that snap, and I'm wondering if he didn't take off.
I was wondering. It didn't really seem like a designed play, but he also didn't look to do anything else with the ball but run with it.
Right. But this will likely be a personal foul against Chanhassen, probably a hit to the helmet, I think.
So 15 yards on the personal foul for the helmet-to-helmet contact that went against Dobmeyer. Dobmeyer hopped right back up, and he appears to be fine and is ready to go for the next play. So in the end, a boon perhaps for this Waconia team as they try to find some points before the end of the first half.
And only in 2020 can we actually hear the referee without a mic on, since there's very few people allowed in the stadium. And a loud ref, we were able to hear his description.
One receiver each side, toss to the left. McAnally gets some good blocking, and he goes airborne again. He's upended at the 21-yard line, just a 2-yard pickup. He loves jumping, and I feel like this is making a comeback at all levels. For so long, it was taught never go airborne, don't do it, and now we see it in the NFL. It almost seems like weekly people are trying to leapfrog defenders. And we're seeing it at the high school level, too. Get up off the ground and pick up those extra yards and basically diving forward. One receiver each side on 2nd down and 8. Time running down. Here's a pass to the right. It is incomplete, and that had all the makings of what we saw last time, where the defender got the better position than Sam Coppy, the receiver.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch. This could be offensive pass interference.
I thought it might have been.
Because the defensive player had position, and the offense, sure, he just tackles him. So that's going to go against Waconia. Well, just a little bit of jersey.
You're not allowed
just
to
the neck,
do that. The headlock.
2 arms with the headlock. Yeah, that's not allowed. That was on 2nd down. They're going to say, what?
Oh!
Oh, my.
Chanhassen fans don't like that, and I am shocked. Gambling in this establishment. Wow. Well, let's go to the next play.
Let's see.
Oh, there it is.
I'm not sure where you can, unless it was earlier in the play, I guess. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Pass to the left. McAnally makes the catch and then tries to dance forward. Not a lot of running room for him. He takes it for what I believe is a 1-yard loss in the end.
And there's another flag on the play. So a sideline warning against Chanhassen. So not a penalty. That's just a warning. So the play stands. Looks like officially they said he got back to the line of scrimmage, so.
Do we get a timeout taken with all this? Because the clock's not running on a tackle right in the middle of the field.
Well, with the penalty.
Yeah, let's get it going here.
Or the sideline warning, it stops for a moment.
Or forever. All right. One receiver each side, handoff to the right. McAnally trying to get the edge, and that play just has not been there for them tonight. We've talked about them running to the right, but we're talking about off-right tackle, not trying to get the edge. Yep. Stretching it to the sideline, the defense for both teams has done a good job of swarming to that. The timeout taken by Waconia with just under a minute to play, and they're looking at a 2nd and 14 situation from their opponent's 15-yard line.
They're down 11 from the 13.
And if you're Waconia, points at the end of the half would be massive.
Oh, they almost have to score here. I mean, they're down by 2 touchdowns, and Chanhassen's going to get the football, and they've scored on their last 2 drives on long touchdowns. So they are really in a situation where I think this is a must score, even though it's only in the second quarter. If they don't put up some points here, they're going to be behind an 8 ball, and Chanhassen will have a chance maybe to go up 20 or 21-0. So they almost have to score, and I think they probably have to score a touchdown here, in fact. Because we have seen this Chanhassen team, when they start to roll, they can start going downhill in a big hurry. And so this is really important for Waconia to put something in the end zone here before this half runs out.
Waconia, they need quite a few yards here. On 2nd down, Dobmeyer from the right hash. Rolls to his left, option play, gives the toss to McAnally. McAnally's hitting the backfield and tackled. A loss of yardage on the play as they move about 5 yards back, plus there's a flag on the field. Boy, we were cruising early, and the laundry has just been all over the place here in the last few minutes of the half.
The rule of thumb with an option is you don't pitch it if you're going to ultimately put the running back in a worse position than you're already in. And that's kind of what Dobmeyer did there. Is there was nowhere for him to go, but there were also 3 defenders there, and it just wasn't going to work. So
out of the frying pan and into the fire with that one. And a hold to boot.
We'll see what looks like they're going to take the penalty.
Trying to stop them from getting any kind of field goal opportunity, perhaps. And Wildcats, let's see what kind of field goal action they've had throughout the course of this season. No attempts on field goals this year. But now you're talking about a sizable one because the ball's back at the 26-yard line. Plus, there's limited time with that clock running down, and it doesn't seem like Waconia is concerned about that. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Dobmeyer fires over the middle. It is caught at the 24. It's a 2-yard pickup.
There's another flag on the field as well, and it's back in the area of holding again. So
the clock's running. Oh, here we go. Down to 19 it stops.
And it is, roughing the passer against Chanhassen. So
maybe that is field goal range now with that kind of call. So you can hear the fans quite a bit better than when there's more of them.
They sure are.
All right.
So they've got first.
Reset the clock. It looks like the 22 seconds.
And now it is first down, of course, with the. No, it's 3rd and 10. I'm sorry. So because it was such a long setup, it'll be 3rd down and 10 here. That is not a first down. automatically.
The Downs, with 19 seconds left, minimal impact.
No, you're right. Yep. The yardage is certainly more important.
And they've got the timeouts, and will Waconia now use one because their players are headed towards the sideline? Yep, Waconia does ask for a break. 22 seconds remaining here in the first half. 3rd and 10 upcoming from the 11-yard line for this Waconia team that, as you said, Nick, almost has to score in this situation. They've had a really hard time moving the ball at times, but they've also been the beneficiaries of some penalty calls that have helped them out on this drive.
Yep. And whatever way it takes to get you down near the goal line, that's what's happened here for Waconia, and now they have to take advantage of it. They've got 2 chances. You've talked about the field goal a few times. I think they have to score a touchdown here. I just do. I don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with Chanhassen in the second half. So I think they're going to be forced to be in a situation where they're going to have to go for it here.
I don't think they have any intention of going for a field goal, but let's see. They only have 1 timeout. I think that's another signal that they're probably not looking at that as an option. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. We've seen a quick pass to the right a couple of times out of this formation. Looking right. Dobmeyer sees the pocket collapse. He escapes and now is tackled from behind. Nice job getting to the QB that time for Gabe Porthant. And the clock ticks under 10 seconds remaining. It's 4th down. Finally, a timeout is taken by Waconia with 7 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and for Coach Shea, he was standing next to the refs, so he was waiting. He didn't want Chanhassen to have any time on the clock after this next play. So by design, they run it down. It'll be 4th down and 16, basically 4th and goal, as the first down marker is about the half-yard line, and they don't have any timeouts at this point anyways. So if you got tackled at the 1-yard line inbounds, you probably wouldn't be able to do anything about it anyways. So it's, for all intents, 4th and goal, so we'll probably see something, I would assume, into the end zone here on the 4th down play.
What do you draw up? I mean, Dobmeyer just had his pocket collapse on him when he tried to look deep. Now he has to go even deeper.
I would guess if they were setting up, I would say maybe Max Sheebley, the tight end, might come into play here, but we'll see.
He's off the right side of the line. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Dobmeyer looking right early from the left hash. Gets the throw away towards the end zone. It is incomplete. Right in and out of the hands of the receiver. And it leaves 1.2 seconds left as Sean Johnson couldn't hold on.
This was a pretty well-designed play here. Johnson found himself open, just couldn't pull it in.
Had to get up there for full extension, but yeah, it did hit him right in the hands, and that's disappointing if you're the Waconia Wildcats, because they were the points right there for the taking at the end of the half. Instead, with 1.2 seconds left, they'll set it up again, because apparently it wasn't 4th down, even though that's what the scoreboard has said for the last 3 downs. Pass is intercepted, and there's the end of the half. All right, our apologies on the downs, but in the end, no points do come for Waconia.
I think what happened there is the personal foul resulted in a 1st down, and they didn't.
That's what I would have assumed back then.
Change the down marker.
All right. Well, again, no points for Waconia at the end of the drive. 13-0 our score at the end of the half. Chanhassen headed to the outdoor locker room with a 13-0 lead here on MC22.
All right, Storm fans, it is halftime here at Storm Stadium. Your Chanhassen Storm currently lead the Waconia Wildcats 13-0 in this beautiful November 5th matchup. The Storm have held Waconia's top rusher to only 42 rushing yards, which is definitely a good sign as he has over 500 on the season with 7 touchdowns. The Storm have shut out Waconia in the first half and have scored 2 touchdowns back-to-back drives on booming plays. One by a 55-yard rushing touchdown by Tucker Pinkerton right up the gut. And Funk drop back pass to Josh Kirchhoff on a slant and hit him right at midfield. Funk currently has 90 yards passing, and your lead rusher for the Storm is Pinkerton with 80 yards. Storm getting it done. Hope they start off with the ball after halftime. Continue watching. We appreciate it very much. Remember to subscribe.
Okay, as I said up, I'm told that they want you to cheer more.
Are you ready? Is you ready? Ready? You say you ready? Whole squad ready? Ready? Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready? Is you ready? Whole squad ready? Cotton jeans with the fur. The whole club is looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, shawty got back in the mail, it's gone. She like I smell cologne. Yeah, I just signed a deal, I'm on. Yeah. I go where I want, good. Play if you want, let's do it. I'm a young CEO, sure. Yeah.
When I from the top, make it drop, that's a wet. When I get a bucket in a mop, that's a wet. I'm talking pop, that's a wet. Macaroni in a pot, that's a wet.
Rack City chick, 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 10, 20s and a 50s chick.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it. Don't really want it. Y'all don't really want it with me. I know you shook, man. You ain't built for a skirt as in me. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for yeah, it's gonna sound like, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it now, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it now, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it now, yeah, here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the, y'all don't really want it now.
Started off as a really big defensive struggle. You get 2 big plays to put Chanhassen on top. Some interesting officiating along the way, and Waconia stonewalled the entire time, never finds the end zone.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, you know, we talk about it being a defensive struggle, but we could also look at it and say, if not for a couple of wide open misses, this could be 28-0
Yes.
Chanhassen too. So, you know, for the most part, Chanhassen has really done a nice job. Max McAnally has really, for the most part, with the exception of a couple plays early, has just not been a factor here. They've really shut him down. I think they've keyed Eli Mao on him so that no matter what he does, Mao kind of shadows him. And we knew going in that when you take out McAnally out of this game plan, they don't have a whole lot else. I mean, not to say that they don't have good players, but they have really keyed their offense on the one guy. So if you take him out, you kind of take that offense out, and that's what Chanhassen has done so far. And so as long as they continue to do that, I think Chanhassen's odds are pretty good here. Obviously, they're going to get the football here to start the second half, and if they score, it's going to be really difficult for Waconia to come back.
Kickoff kept on the ground, a bouncing ball, secured eventually by Ock, tries to run right side to the 20, finds space to the 25, bursts it to the 30, and he's headed down the sideline. One man to beat, that's the kicker, and he's got a blocker to help. Ock taking it to the end zone to start the second half.
And no flags on the field, so that's going to be a good touchdown.
Chanhassen wastes no time at all, 14 seconds in all, as this ball taken from the 16-yard line to pay dirt.
And that was in large part after the initial wave was all Ock. He was able to establish himself. There was one good block right there, and that was number 14, Charlie Coonan. He put on a good block that opened up the rest of the field, and then Ock was off to the races for the touchdown.
Now we get a whistle before the point after attempt. I don't know if I saw a flag come out. Are we missing a player? Sure, you can have 11. All right. Out there for the kick after this time is Dimitri McDougall. Remember, Mao kicked one through earlier. Now it's McDougall, switching up with the right-legged kicker or the left-legged kicker, forcing Funk to flip back and forth. And the official seems dissatisfied with the football. This one might be better. Oh, what drama. Okay, here we go. We found a football that our officials prefer. Not sure how we got confused on what the game ball was. Was the one for the kickoff not good? Should we just erase that play?
Well, the only thing I can think of is each team plays with their own set of footballs. And so when you would return a kick for a touchdown, that would be Waconia's football. So maybe the extra point has to be your own ball.
Snap a little high, but put down by Funk and kicked through by Dimitri McDougall. So a 20-0 lead. For Chanhassen, nicely done. And it's been a big play day for Chanhassen. And how about Ock getting into the act with a guy that we highlighted before the game? Hasn't been a huge part of the offense. He had one opportunity earlier that he was unable to pull in on a pass that was a little bit too long. Would have been a dynamite play if he could have caught it. But here in the kickoff on what looked like a bouncing ball, Pinkerton had it. Pinkerton doesn't have it. And then suddenly, that's the breaking point right there.
Yep. Sometimes a little bobble is what opens things up because it throws the rest of the timing off.
Now they credit him with an 82-yard return, but to me, he definitely caught that ball at about the 86. Pinkerton touched it before then, but it was reeled in by Ock at that 16-yard line. Would have been an 84-yard return. Mao set for the kickoff as We have started the second half, but only gotten through 14 seconds of it thanks to the kickoff return by the Chanhassen Storm. Kickoff from Mao. This one, another one of those in-betweeners, taken on the run at the 26-yard line, pushed up towards the 35, and it's a 10-yard return roughly. Quick move by Sam Gessinger. And, you know, that pretty decent field position is there for Waconia. Can they move the ball? Can they sustain a drive that pushes the ball into the end zone? Or can they find the big play that Chanhassen has lived by so far tonight? Lived and thrived by.
Well, they're going to have to find some different options as well as McAnally, because they're just going to have to open up the field a little bit.
Run to the left side. McAnally takes it up to the 44-yard line, so a 7-yard pickup on the first down run. And it's been a little while since he's had a good burst like that for a solid first down pickup. Waconia comes to the line again. One receiver each side from the left hash. Dobmeyer quickly turns around, hands it off to McAnally, running to that left side, and he'll pick up a yard or two. He's still short of the first down. Looks like they give him a pair as he crosses the 45-yard line. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
And this probably has a lot to do with the aggressiveness of the Chanhassen defense, but those blockers are just not being able to seal up consistently on the defense of Chanhassen, and that's just not allowing many open holes for McAnally to run through.
One receiver to the right side from the left hash. Dobmeyer goes under center. An eye behind him, and he'll keep and just push forward. Good job by the center to clear out some space as that ball does move into first down territory. It looks like all the way up to the 48-yard line. So they pick up a pair of yards on that QB sneak. Waconia really hurting in the yardage game when you look at the comparison between these two teams. Chanhassen, those big plays have been the difference. One receiver each side. Dobmeyer looking to pass right. He gets that one away. It is incomplete. Good battle that time between Copy and Velasquez.
That was a really nice play by Velasquez. Watch how he waits, times his leap, and at the very last second puts his hands in the way.
How often have we seen a DB, though, with the inside position on a ball coming? It's happened both sides. Defense has done well.
Yep.
Waconia on 2nd and 10. Dobmeyer on the option. He pitches late, and McAnally does get it, but he just gets back near the line of scrimmage as he runs out of running room to the right, left side, that is.
Yeah, you just by the time this ball is pitched, there's just no extra room for the running back to move anyways, and he's got 2 defenders in his face the moment he has the football.
Yeah. So was that Mao tracking the quarterback? I'm not 100% sure, but I thought he did a good job of keeping his right side of his body in between the 2 players. So he knew the pitch was coming, but he kind of shut down both options, whether it's keep or toss. Dobmeyer pressured by Mao. He escapes, runs up the middle, breaks it to the left side, looking for that first down. He is spun down short. Oh, it looked like things were really breaking for Waconia that time, but a couple of yards short is Dobmeyer in the end. Flushed out, and steps up, and he's looking to run right away, and he gets by a couple of defenders, but flying in late. Nice hit that time. Who was that? Didn't get a clear look. I thought it was a 24, but there's not a 24, so.
Might have been Velasquez, 23.
Could have been.
It does set up a manageable 4th and 2, though. If they don't get that yardage on 3rd down, that's a much tougher slate to pick up on 4th down.
Thinking it might have been 34, Mitch Becker. So nice job. Yeah, I'm getting some confirmation on the folks working the replay. 9 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. One receiver each side after the big Becker tackle. It's 4th down and 2. Going for the Wildcats. Looks like they're trying to draw the opposition off sides. It doesn't work out, and a timeout is asked for by, delay of game. They did not ask for the break, so they'll back it up and now punt away.
I don't know if I agree with that, down by 20, but giving the football back to Chanhassen here. There's still a lot of time, so things can happen, but
you would have liked to have seen a run on such or a play run with such short yardage?
Yeah, I think that they just...
Line drive punt is muffed, and it is falling on top of Coonan. It looked like there was a Wildcat right in the area, but did not react, and Coonan did. He went right for that ball on the ground after mishandling.
Yeah, I just think you're not going to have many opportunities, and Chanhassen is starting to look like the Chanhassen we've seen for the last couple of weeks, where they start to open things up, they start to wear you down, and that's where these big plays start to come into fruition. So I just am not sure that Waconia is going to have enough opportunities as good as that one to be in position to keep moving the football. So, but that's why I'm up here, and Corey Shea is down there. So,
all right. On first down, a new drive begins for Chanhassen. They shift some guys in the backfield. Hand off to Pinkerton, looking to weave his way to the right. Not a lot of room, and he'll move it up towards the 22-yard line, just a couple of yards.
And this is part of it, too, that, Chanhassen has the ability. We've hardly seen Coonan in the offensive strategy here tonight, but between Pinkerton and we've seen Mao at times, Kirkhoff certainly, Ock. I mean, they've got weapons that they can move the football down the field in big chunks, or they can grind it out. And so we might see a little more grinded out, and they can drain a lot of clock if they keep it on the ground, like we've seen them several times over the course of the year.
Two receivers left, one to the right. Man goes in motion, play action to that man. Now it's Coonan. Coonan escapes the tackle after the catch, and he's looking to run it through the middle of the field. The defense catches up with him, but not before a big gain. About 35 yards on that catch.
And Charlie Coonan right on cue after I said that he had barely been part of the offensive game plan. He picks up a nice big gainer. He almost was able to deke. If he had cut to the left instead of the right and went away from the defender, he might have been able to open things up a little bit. He was trying to cut around him. He thought maybe the left was maybe the better option, but big gainer nonetheless.
Officially 33 yards on that grab. Two receivers left, one to the right. It's a run right up the middle. And a push by Pinkerton to the 40-yard line.
And there's nothing wrong with that at this point of the game. I mean, they want to chew up some clock here, too. They would like to shorten this game at this point. You're already up by 20. So limit the opportunities for Waconia. And Waconia is going to have to move the ball on the ground, whatever they do. So they're going to use up some clock as well. So
for the first 15 or 20 minutes of the first half, the clock was really moving. Then we saw a ton of penalties late. We'll see what we get here in the second as things continue on. But things have moved quickly thus far. Here's a pass to the left side, and a flag flies as Kirkhoff carries it up towards the 30. Would have been a first down. We'll see what the flag tells us. Another look here. Quick pass to Kirkhoff. Good block in front of him. At least it looked like a good block, but that might have been where the flag came from. Is that Ock setting on the outside? No, I believe that was Charlie Coonan blocking in front of the receiver. It is a hold against the offense. And the hometown fans, which are on the near side, the side that we are on, were none too pleased with the officiating in the first half. I don't think they're going to forget that as we still early in the second half. Don't seem to care for this holding call. So, second down and 14. Two receivers left, one to the right. Funk has a man go in motion. Play action to him. Big pass deep down the left side into double coverage. Incomplete. They wanted Coonan, but nicely done by the defender, Owen Omrine. Omrine raising his arms up to knock that down. Otherwise, it falls into the breadbasket for Kunin.
Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous pass into double coverage, but when you're up by 20, you have a little more ability to be aggressive, and that's what Funk was doing there. So 3rd down and long.
Ock split out wide to the right. With Kirchhoff in the slot to the left, it's Kunin. Funk. Extra protection to the right side, and he will roll to his right. The lefty tries to set, gets a pass away for Ock, and that one
Nice catch.
caught up near the 36-yard line. It's not a first down, but a really nice catch to shorten down this next play.
We've seen a couple of nice catches along the sideline for Chanhassen tonight. And so this will set up 4th down in a couple. We'll see if Chanhassen, meanwhile, decides to go for this. Yeah.
What a catch by
Nice
Ock.
catch there by Ock.
So Funk's got the play. He runs into the huddle. They need 3 yards to move the chains. Under 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Chanhassen already leading by 20-0. You know, at the end of the 1st quarter, we thought, oh, this might be the first really low-scoring game for this Chanhassen team. They put in the end zone. They're right at about where they've been every week. Here, run to the right side for Brady Grandstaff, and he's close. I think they're going to give him 4 yards. He only needed 3. First down, Chanhassen.
Yeah, just send them the way of your biggest and best blockers and pick up the 4 yards. The clock continues to run.
When we talk about the clock, it's as important as the scoreboard at this point for Chanhassen. With a 3-score lead, they just want this game to wrap. Mao coming out of the game, a little shaken up. We saw that last week, and he never came back. 2 receivers to the left. We get whistles and a flag. This one coming from the side. All right, officials. Boy, they're taking their time. Not the discussion, but, you know, the slow walk to each other.
A sideline infraction against Chanhassen.
Now, we had a warning in the first half. You'll have to remind me. Was that Chanhassen last time as well? Yep, it is.
Yep.
So we'll get a true penalty this time as the ball placed back at the 37-yard line. So 1st and 15 after that sideline infraction. I don't know if I've seen that penalty called. It almost looked like a little dance. Put his hands behind, then he came to the front. Put his arm out. There's a lot going on there. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right.
The warning, first off, was a little more flamboyant, I guess, than the actual call.
Handoff to Kirchhoff, and he slips and falls down near the 35-yard line. Just a couple of yards picked up on that play. All right, I said he slipped, but yeah, there was a tackler in the area who got hands on him, Jorge Toledo. Funk runs into the huddle with the play from the coaching staff. 4:25 and the clock moving down here in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Funk. Grandstaff with him in the backfield, rolls to his left, gets a pass away. It is incomplete thanks to the defense. Great job that time by Owen Omrine.
We've seen him make a couple of nice defensive plays here tonight, and you can see Funk rolling out, pressure behind him, and Omrine leaping in front of that pass.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the DBs on both sides of the ball here tonight. We've seen some good tackling and good pass defense. Yes, there's been a couple of big plays, but overall, passing game has been tough sledding for these two sides. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right now on 3rd down and 14. Things haven't gone well after that penalty. Now we've got whistles on a delayed handoff to Grandstaff, who seemed like he had good running room, at least initially.
Well, there's a reason when you have good running lanes when you start before the other team. A little bit. So that penalty for a false start will push Chanhassen back by 5.
This drive continues to push the wrong way. It seems unlikely they'll be able to convert. However, they're still in a great position to punt and control the field position portion of this, but you just don't want to have any kind of turnover. It's something that Chanhassen has avoided to this point in the day, even with the Coonan fumble on the punt. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Funk looking to pass the whole way. Has pressure coming, gets it away. It is caught by Coonan up near the 20. He's got the 20 and more as he dances around a defender. Pushes forward towards the 15. What a play.
And that's the thing with Chanhassen, is that they have multiple dimensions to their offense. They've got the running game, but they also have a very nice passing game. Funk is a really good game manager, and even on 3rd and 19, he's going to make the smart play. And see, he's got plenty of time almost.
He can see the runner coming too because he's a lefty,
Yep.
and they had that man rushing him. 26 yards is what they pick up when they only needed 19. So a first down, and Chanhassen ready to go again, now in the red zone with 3.5 to play here in the 3rd. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Funk from the right hash. Shotgun snap, pump fake, now passes towards the right side of the end zone, overthrows Josh Ock. 2nd and 10 with 3:19.
Well, and this is why I questioned a little bit Waconia punting the football, because 2 things are working against you. One is that Chanhassen has the ability to move down the field. You know, whether they were at the 40 or the 20, they were going to be able to do that. The other thing is that the clock really becomes a factor when you're down. And this drive started with about 8 minutes to go, and they've been able to run it down to 3:19. If they, depending on what they do here, they could run another couple minutes off the clock here. Score or not, they're still up 3 touchdowns, and they flip the field on Waconia.
Pass towards the left side, caught by Kirchhoff. He's hitting the backfield, trying to ditch that tackler. He does, and all that work gets him minimal yardage in the end, but it could have been a big loss. So nice job by Kirchhoff to stick with it and get slippery that time to get into the hands of Sean Johnson.
That could have been a great play by Johnson. He just couldn't hold on as Kirchhoff just keeps those feet moving and was able to break that tackle. And it's pretty fantastic for him that he was able to just get back to the original line of scrimmage and actually pick up a yard there, because it looked like he was maybe going to lose 5 or 6 on the play.
So Chanhassen survives first down. Here they split Kirchhoff wide to the right, have Coonan on the left side. Grandstaff in the backfield behind the QB. Handoff, Grandstaff running towards his right, and he pushes up to the 11-yard line. The 4-yard pickup.
And again, if I'm Chanhassen here, you just go for it here. You flip the field, you're up by 20. You know, there's a lot of confidence in Funk, and you've got receivers, you've got good options here, so there's really no motivation to, I would think, to kick a field goal here. I think you just go for this and leave Waconia with a long field if you don't get it.
Be less than a 30-yard field goal, but I'm with you. Just keep pushing. 1 receiver each side. Grandstaff in the backfield next to Funk. He'll take the snap. Play action, pass towards the left, incomplete. The defense steps up once again. It's Omrine who jumped that passing route and got fingers on it to make it an incomplete pass, and the ball is turned over on downs.
But you flipped the field and you ate about 5.5 minutes off the clock there, so you have achieved the 2 things that you really wanted to do. I mean, Waconia, well, if you obviously want to score, but that would be the 3rd thing, I suppose. But you were able to eat up clock. You were able to flip the field, and now Waconia will have to try and move all the way down the field. They have not shown the ability to do that yet, and so you take your chances giving them long fields here, and we'll see what Waconia can do to augment that.
Run up the middle. Ball taken out across the 15, about a 4-yard pickup that time. Max McAnally They keep going to him, but hasn't been able to break anything big so far. And I think most of that credit has to go to this Chanhassen defense. Mao back in the game as he's part of that tackle along with Chris Ewing.
Yeah, very much so. This Chanhassen defense, they've keyed on him. They know that he's the main weapon. If they can take him out of the game, they've got a good chance to win.
Two receivers to the right. Pass caught near the 24 and taken all the way up towards the 30. It was caught more near the 21, but it was by number 24, Sam Coffey. So he was on my mind.
And you can live with a play like that because it wasn't to the main weapon. You're going to have to make Waconia beat you with their second and third options out there, and you'll take that.
Two receivers to the left from the right hash. The QB fakes the handoff. Pass to the left side is caught by Coffey. They'll give him the 35. About a 5-yard pickup. Now, you talk about all the time that was taken off by Chanhassen on their last drive. I was listening to Mike Grimm on the radio the other day talk about how his two favorite drives for the Gophers have not resulted in points. And I can't remember both examples, but I certainly remember the one from the Auburn game, the bowl game this past year. That was one of those drives where a ton of time eaten off the clock. It's what wrapped up the game.
Yep.
And they didn't need points. They just needed to beat the clock.
Correct. Had a couple of fourth down.
I think the other one was against Wisconsin in a game where the Gophers won the Axe. So maybe you would remember that as a Gopher alum. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. From the right hash. Handoff McAnally running to the left, and McAnally falls forward near the 44. Or excuse me, the 39. Doesn't quite get the first down, and now the third quarter is going to come to an end, and what will they do at the start of the fourth? Waconia is down 20-0 to the hometown Chanhassen Storm. We go to the final frame when we return here on MC22. The driver's seat against a visiting Waconia squad that has been held scoreless thus far. This is a pretty good Waconia team. They are 2-2 coming in. They've had great success running the ball, but not so much tonight. And I think Waconia is probably seeing from Chanhassen much of what they saw from Orono a week ago, because McAnally was stifled that night, and he seems to be so here tonight. Flags fly on this first play of the fourth.
And timing just not there. Sam Copey took off a little bit early, and it'll cost 5 yards. So instead of 4th and 2, it's 4th and 7.
And remember, this ball is still in Wildcat territory. So they were going to go for it on 4th down. Do they continue to try? And I think, Nick, you and I would agree that what else do you have going for you? You need at least 3 scores to get back into this game. So,
and you may not have the ball 3 times, so you have to take what options you have left here.
Man comes in motion. Dobmeyer gets his pass away. It is incomplete, and the ball will turn over on downs. A short field for the Chanhassen Storm offense, who takes over with a 20-0 lead here early in the fourth.
Just over the top. Pressure was coming, and that really changed the play as the quarterback had to rush it. Dob Miller just didn't have time to throw it accurately, and it's a turnover on downs.
All right, so after we're done here, we're going to talk about our play and player of the game. And for player, I would love to go defense tonight, but I'm not sure who we could key in on because it's been a group effort.
Mm-hmm.
Here, Chanhassen on offense gives to Pinkerton, and Pinkerton, little scoot run takes him up near a first down. I think he picked up 11 that time. Just kept shuffling along. We talked about him being one of the smallest players on the field and how he can get lost. It seemed like nobody was looking to tackle him as he made some shifty, quick moves up the field. Always forward.
Yeah, he's had some nice runs. He hasn't been probably the flashiest player out there. We've had some nice catches that have resulted in touchdowns. Certainly the kickoff return for a touchdown, but he has done really nice here tonight, and he's picked up some big yardage as well. Of course, he had the one long play we should point out, too.
Here he doesn't get much of anything. Hit at the line and brought down, setting up second and long.
Max McAnally, running back there, taking down the running back.
McAnally's been great on defense. You know, while he hasn't had the big game on offense, he has been there time after time for tackles. Chanhassen taking their time in the huddle, and why not? Again, the clock is the thing they're working against more than anything now. Two receivers to the left. They stack the running backs in the backfield with Funk under center. He hands off, run to the right side. Pinkerton crosses the 20. He'll pick up 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, they're just bleeding the clock dry at this point. They have no interest in rushing this at all.
So with that, this is the Chanhassen team that will head into a game against St. Louis Park 4-0, it looks like. St. Louis Park, if the trends continue for them, will head into that game 0-5. So while a game was taken away from Chanhassen, they could finish the regular season undefeated. I can't remember what they're doing for any kind of playoffs for high school football. I probably should have checked on that. Here, pass to the left side is caught in big open space, lowering his head and trying to get extra yardage with the power is Brendan Radke.
Well, there will be playoffs. It'll be more of a sectional or district playoff, and then it'll basically end there.
Just like the rest of the fall sports have to this point.
Yep. So, still something to play for.
Hey, if the weather keeps up like this, play as long as you want.
Yeah. I think by Sunday it's supposed to change somewhat dramatically, though. Although I see tomorrow they've increased the warmth. I just got a notification on my phone that it's supposed to be 77 degrees tomorrow for a high.
That doesn't seem possible. And you get alerts when it's going to be a nice day? I should probably set those up. That seems like a good idea. Under 10 minutes to go here.
2020's been tough enough. I need things anywhere I can get them.
Two receivers to the left. Handoff and trying to bounce it to the outside. Pinkerton with a burst of speed inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown! 8-yard score. A flag comes out late, but I'm guessing
maybe a horse collar tackle on that at the end.
Some kind of personal foul near the end of that. They scored with 9:45 left in the first quarter. They do it here in the fourth quarter as well. Another touchdown. This time it's Pinkerton, his second of the day.
And there's the horse collar at the end.
Well, we were thinking defense, and I applaud the effort of this defense here tonight, but Pinkerton with 2 touchdowns, including the one that broke things open after a sluggish start for both offenses. The crowd's singing happy birthday. Is there any chance that it's Pinkerton's birthday today? It's somebody's. But I suppose there's about 365 people in this field between the 250 fans that are allowed in, the 2 football teams. So somebody's birthday was bound to be today.
They did announce it on the PA earlier in the warm-ups. I didn't catch
who it was,
but
kick after is good by Dimitri McDougall. So second kick for McDougall that he's hit tonight. 27-0 now. So Waconia trying to find the end zone before it's all said and done. Can they generate some kind of positivity on the scoreboard this evening? They were held to a season low 6 points last week, but 3 times this season they've been held under 20 points this year. It's going to happen again tonight, it looks like, unless there's a dramatic change.
And because of that horse-collared tackle, the kickoff will be from the 45-yard line of Waconia. And this will fly right into the end zone.
Didn't need all of that, but now 20-yard line is where Waconia begins another drive, trying to push it across the goal line. Breaking the huddle, the Wildcats, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Dobmeyer out of the gun with McAnally to his right, looking to pass all the way. He goes hard over the middle. It is incomplete. There's a man underneath, Ryan Mashka, who leapt up, thought he might be able to get to that pass. Instead, it is incomplete with the receiver falling down during the route.
Both of the offensive lines tonight have done a really good job of protecting the quarterbacks. There was a situation there where Dobmeyer had plenty of time. He wasn't able to connect, but a good job tonight by both offensive lines to protect the quarterback.
Bunch receiver formation to the right, but looking left. This pass is incomplete, out of the reach of the hands of Trevor Stockman, and that's tough to do. He's 6'6", and he couldn't get that ball. It's a little behind him and a little high. Watch him twist around. Like behind might not be the right word, but he was looking to the other shoulder initially and had to turn back. So incomplete passes, stopping the clock and helping Waconia keep some time. But they need to complete these passes to move the ball down the field. 2 receivers to the left when it's all said and done. Here's a pass over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended target, Max Shebley.
As we take a look again, Dobmeyer.
That one right where he wanted it.
That one probably should have been caught, yep.
It was in the area of a first down. Instead, the punt team is on for Waconia. And Chanhassen looking to put on their driving gloves for a leisurely Sunday morning drive. Good snap, and the punt gets away under some pressure. There is no one back for the return, but takes a nice Wildcats bounce and is settled down near the 43-yard line. So we talked about Waconia next week going home to face a Holy Angels team that is 3-1 this season, but they play 4A football, so it's always hard to gauge how a team at a 5A that's kind of a 500 team, which is what Waconia was coming into tonight, will face against a decent 4A opponent.
Now in force in at center for the Chanhassen Storm, number 72, Junior Brandon.
Chanhassen making some changes along the way. Different players getting into the game, although it looks like mostly starters at the skilled positions. Funk takes the snap. Play action going deep towards the right side. Auk has his man beat, moves towards the middle of the field. He has it, a catch, and he's taken down at the 18-yard line.
And he might be hurt.
44-yard catch on that play.
slow to get up, and he might need some attention here. I'm guessing he just lost. Yeah, might have the wind knocked out of him there.
When you've got that football tucked in your torso and you fall on it, that's often what happens. So he's getting looked over. It's been a big night for Ock. He had the kickoff return for a touchdown. He catches that big pass. We talked about the sophomore during the pregame, and he's followed up last week's best performance of the season with another good week this week. Nine minutes, 12 seconds left as he gets looked over and is helped up. You see another player walking off. That's Sean Johnson going to the sideline. And now Ock up and able to walk off under his own power. Here we go. Chanhassen into the line of scrimmage on first down inside the red zone. One receiver each side. Funk getting under center. Grandstaff's got himself a lead blocker. He takes the handoff and is hit right at the line of scrimmage. Drop down for no gain, maybe a loss of a yard. A scoreless first for both teams is followed up by a two-score second. Chanhassen takes a 13-0 lead into halftime. They get the kickoff return to start the second half. They add a second Pinkerton touchdown here in the fourth. It adds up to the 27-0 score we have right now. We continue. It's kind of fun to hear them announce players kind of taking over as different Chanhassen starters are taken out of this game that has become quite lopsided as we move down to 8 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Two receivers to the right. Handoff Grandstaff looking for some blocking. Now he bursts ahead, pushing towards the 10. He'll be shut down near the 12. But a pickup of 6 on second down.
Good job of Grandstaff to keep waiting for his blocks. Just kind of waited for things to develop. And then finally he saw the opening and he took it. Of course, this is the last regular season home game for Chanhassen, so they are allowing the players to kind of one by one come off the field. And some new players who may not have seen as much of the field so far this season getting a chance to play in the regular season finale here. The home finale.
Sure. Two receivers to the right, empty on the left. From the left hash, handoff. Grandstaff going right up the middle, and he's got good space. He's across the 10 all the way up to the 7-yard line. 5 yards. They only needed 4. It's a first down. Ground game. Move the chains, keep the clock moving. And even on a short field, the Storm are managing to eat clock.
Yeah, and that's really their main goal. I mean, if they score a touchdown, you know, they'll certainly take it. But at the same time, the goal is just to eat up clock here. And if they were able to keep the ball on the ground and run it 4 times and get in the end zone on fourth down, they'd certainly take it. You know, just to keep the game quick and keep the clock moving.
Two receivers to the left. Handoff, Grandstaff going up the middle, and he'll cross the 5-yard line up to the 4, 3-yard pickup. Yeah, 3 yards at a time. That's what'll get it done.
Yep.
You see the mass there. He's cut down hard. Good sweep in there by Max McAnally. Boy, if we had to pick a defensive player from the other side for our player of the game, that would be easy. But I think we might cop out on this one and go with the 2-touchdown offensive player. It's easier for our folks to get highlights there, too. Here, handoff, Grandstaff running left side. He gets a burst of speed, carries across the goal line. A 4-yard touchdown. Chanhassen adds to their lead. It's up to 33-0.
Grandstaff has been a nice secondary option here in the second half. And again, just gets some space and then goes north and south. He does a nice job of waiting for blocks and choosing when to accelerate into the pile. As Grandstaff picks up the touchdown with the extra point. It's good. Makes it 34-0.
Nice job by McDougal. He gets his 3rd point after touchdown, after Mao kicked the first one. So again, 5 minutes, 39 seconds to go. Chanhassen, again, the first quarter seems so strange now when we look at how the scoring, the ball control, the defensive dominance have gone for Chanhassen in the final 3 quarters of this game. And now Waconia will get what might be their last chance with the football. Both teams have 3 timeouts left, but it's hard to imagine Waconia trying to whittle down or, hold the clock late to ensure an extra possession against this Chanhassen team. You mentioned Chanhassen leading the series 5-1. Waconia actually won the last time they played here. It was a 20-8 game back in 2018, so that was their only win. Looking back at records for Chanhassen is one of my favorite things because they've only been around 12 years. So you can always find
pretty much any stat
all the history of their games played. Maybe not individual stats, but you can find their records. So we know what they've done in the past, and we can see what they're doing here tonight. Absolutely dominating Waconia as the game has moved along. McDougal on the kickoff. This ball caught at the 14-yard line, brought across the 20 along the left sideline to the 25, and pushed all the way up to the 29-yard line on that return. So here comes the Waconia offense. Will it be the mainstay starters out there? As you take another look at the return by Omrine.
And I don't see, well, there we go. I was going to say I don't see 5 out there, but there he was the last one out. I don't see number 2 out there, though.
There's no McAnally. Dobmeyer from the left hash. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. This pass is a little long and falls incomplete. Actually, it kind of looked like Luke Allen might have had a chance at an interception after you really went after that tip ball. Instead, it falls to the ground, incomplete.
We've seen a few of those.
That's a hard cut to get back on. He was leaning the other way when that ball first got in there.
We've seen a few of those balls. Dobmeyer throws a hard ball, and they've just gone through the hands of some of these Waconia receivers.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Even when he's had touch, they've had some trouble. Here, ball bobbled, and he is hit hard, bounces off a tackler, and pays the price in the end.
Alex Karsten's the linebacker coming in.
Take another look. Nice job of picking it up.
Check that. That's number 47, Nathan Overland.
So 47 got the first hit, but the QB bounced off, and then it's finished by 37, John Dahl, who will get credit for the sack in the end. But plenty of gentlemen in the backfield for the Chanhassen Storm that time around. Nowhere for Dobmeyer to go after that initial fumble of the snap. And so Waconia looking at a 3rd and 18 situation. Bunch formation to the left. They've loved it throughout the course of the night. 1 receiver to the right. Dobmeyer looking right. Gets the pass away. Caught at the 30. Brought across the 35. And then the receiver tackled down at the 36. So 4th and 3 upcoming. Pretty deep in their own territory. Will Waconia try to pick up a first down? Not a bad catch that time by Trevor Stockman, and then he was able to make a little bit out of it with some extra yardage, but it's Stockman who's down injured on the field. Sitting up, having his ankle assessed. Maybe a little higher into his leg as they try to check him out. Good enough to walk it off, walk himself off the field as we get set for this 4th down play for the Wildcats.
And 4th down, one last chance to keep the line moving here for Waconia.
So they'll go for it. 2 receivers left. The pass to the left side is incomplete, a little low, and it bounces towards Sam Coffey. And the ball turned over on downs. 4:21 remaining here in the 4th. Not quite enough just to kneel on it. And again, you've got the timeouts for Waconia if they wanted to use them. I don't think they would.
Yeah, you're just
some
going to
plays
see,
are going to need to be run.
You're just going to see Chanhassen trying to keep the ball on the ground, keep the game moving. Probably some grand staff.
I think they're going even deeper than that.
Well, we're going to have the whole. They're going to take them all out here.
Chanhassen removes their starters and goes to the backups. That's interesting. The ball's all the way up at the 36-yard line, boys.
Might end up taking a delay of game on this.
Yeah, they're taking their time. Last in, it looks like Alex Karstens, the junior, is going to run this offense. He might do it with a penalty to start, though.
I think they...
Play clock at -4 as they come to the line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right.
Some liberality on that one.
From the left hash, handoff and a run play that is stuffed early. That was a hard hit. Looked like Aaron Hayes laying the wood that time.
Nice job by Hayes getting into the gap. Also, maybe number 55, Diego check that, Jorge Toledo making the eventual tackle there.
For Chanhassen, just control the ball. Control the clock as it ticks down to about 3:40 remaining. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. On 2nd down and long, not much there. Just trying to push it right up the middle. So the ball being carried this time by Chanhassen's Carter Van Holland. The sophomore has taken the last 2 snaps for Chanhassen.
Chanhassen's going to get as many players into the game as they can here.
Running back on is Karstens, the QB, after getting the play from the sidelines. Probably not a lot of diversity in these play calls. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Got extra blocking stacked up on the right side of the line. Handoff and taken down in the backfield is Van Holland after
Luke Peterson on the stop.
So 4th down coming up with 2.5 minutes remaining. And you just go for it again because is the punt going to help that much?
Yep.
You could do the pooch punt certainly, but
yeah, I think they're more likely just to go for it.
Just hand this ball off and probably hand the possession off with it to the opposition.
You never know.
See what Van Holland has in store. They set up in the gun this time. 1 receiver left, 2 to the right. Delayed handoff, and there's a little run for Van Hollen. He gets decent yardage, but he is shy of a 1st down by a couple of yards there as he puts it down at the 27. He needed the 25, 26 for a 1st down. He really stretched out and tried to sell it. He was close, but the ball is turned over on downs, and with 1:52 remaining, Waconia gets one last shot.
And we'll see who comes out for them, if they come out with the same starters or if they go for some new players as well.
And for the Waconia Wildcat fans, they host the Academy of Pony Angels next Wednesday, 7 p.m. at Waconia's field.
And it looks like we will have a new quarterback. Looks like Aaron Young, the junior, will come in to run the offense. Also in Gage Mueller, junior running back. And now we've got a whistle.
I think there's a player with an equipment issue on the far sideline for Chanhassen. He still had his mask on? I mean, what was that?
I don't know.
He took something off and handed it to the official. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Handoff and the run to the left side. Bottled up fairly early, good pursuit, and then everyone is going to be involved in this tackle. You ever gotten 1/11th of a tackle? Be tough on the score sheet. That was a beating taken that time by Gage Mueller, as he felt the force of everyone that's left on the field for Chanhassen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, they're all there now.
Nice.
Two receivers right, 1 to the left on second down. Mueller again gets the handoff. Looks like he's got first down yardage, bouncing off defenders, and he's pulled down near the 39-yard line.
It's a good run. Found some space, just kept bouncing off tacklers.
They finally call out Aaron Young, who's running the offense here. Under a minute to go. Waconia on 1st and 10 from their own 39. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Young out of the gun, hands off to Mueller, run right side, looked like a hole initially. Nope. Mueller pushing, bouncing off tacklers, he gets across midfield. And the clock is stopped as the chains will move. Ball at the Chanhassen 48-yard line. Now Waconia has all their timeouts, they're moving the ball a little bit, but they're going to let the clock move as the offense sets up for its final play of the evening, you would think. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Handoff, Mueller looking to go up the middle. He is hit, tries to bounce off the tackler who will not let go, and everyone else comes in there to be a part of the action. That play will wrap up the 4th. It is a 34-0 victory for a still undefeated Chanhassen Storm team. We'll come back to give out our play and player of the game nods shortly. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is a 34-0 Chanhassen win at home over Waconia. You saw it all here on MC22.
Well, Storm fans, that was a fun one, both offensively and defensively. Your offense put up 34 points, while your defense shut out Waconia. The final score, 34-0 in favor of the Storm. The Storm now move to 4-0 and will play in St. Louis Park on Wednesday night. Some leaders from your Storm was Funk. He had 215 passing yards. With his biggest pass to 69 yards. That was that touchdown to Josh Kirchhoff in the first quarter. And then a 44-yard pass to Josh Ock. Your rusher leaders were Pinkerton with 110. And then as the game slowed up towards the end, Brady Grandstaff was put in and got 26 yards total. Your Storm held McKinley to only 53 yards, which is what they needed to do and only 60 yards passing. Not a lot of offense there. In favor of the Storm, once again. Your Storm still undefeated. This is one exciting year for the Storm. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and roll Storm.